What's up, comic book fans? And welcome to Comics Icons. Now, JJ, what they call me. And today, we got issue 3 of the spectacular Spider-Man. And if you guys missed any part of this new first ever ongoing series between Peter Parker and Miles Morales, then I'll put a card to the playlist at the top of the screen for you. And I'll put up a link at the end of this video. But when we left off with this series, Miles and Peter have followed Miles' friend Cedric to a very sketchy secret location after he had all of a sudden started to act incredibly out of character, only to get redirected to the sewers leading to a run-in with the vermin clones. And not only that, but they've still got to get to the bottom of that whole Jackal and the charred body found in the lab thing. So if you guys are ready to find out what it is that's been going on around town that's got all of the people starting to act so strangely, and you guys already know what time it is, let's get it. So the issue starts off with both Peter and Miles separately getting ready for a first date simultaneously. And as each of them open their respective doors, we get a reveal that Peter is already married to Gwen Stacy, and at the door was Gwen's father there to take out Aunt May. Meanwhile, Miles is about to go on a date with Kamala Khan. But then we pick up with now, which is a very interesting statement that this part starts off with now. And the Peter and Miles date starts off with meanwhile. But we pick up with Detective Shari Sebens and Carly Cooper and Jane Foster, who are still trying to gather more details on their John Doe corpse. And they looked into Spider-Man's tip about a possible cloning, but that doesn't appear to be the case with their victim. But then we go back to meanwhile, as Peter and his wife Gwen are setting the dinner table before they call out the kids for mac and cheese night. And I gotta ask y'all about this one. Is mac and cheese night really like a main attraction? Like, does anybody out there really have mac and cheese nights? I love me some mac and cheese, I gotta admit, but I've always ever seen it as a side dish, not a mac and cheese night. But yeah, y'all let me know. And I'm not even trash talking it. I'm just unfamiliar with that concept. Mac and cheese night. But meanwhile, again, this time we check in on Miles and Kamala's first date. And at first things are pretty awkward between them, but it doesn't take long for them to start getting more comfortable with being out together like this. Then we get a barrage of meanwhiles, with Turk now seemingly a boss, and that opera guy from issue 1 of this series now on a late night talk show with a bunch of awards. And even those ladies that had been out on a date all across Europe. And then we go back to Peter and the kids, and right now they're having the time of their lives as Gwen Stacy looks on happily. And then Miles, as he's on his date with Kamala, and he's saying all the right things. My boy is extra smooth tonight. But then we see now, and Miles and Peter are being watched on some security cameras by what looks to be the same people that had redirected them down to the sewers in the last issue. And the people watching appear to already know that these two are Spider-Men. But what they don't know are their identities, since these guys never mention last names and appear to be nobodies. But when we transition back to then, Peter and Miles are at the coffee shop ordering their usuals, but there's a new guy at the counter that doesn't know their usuals. Apparently Kenny and Shelly haven't showed up in days. And if you guys remember at the end of the last issue, Kenny and Shelly had gotten approached by an old friend of theirs named Marv that had invited them to come out and beta test his new startup's game. And then we pick up with Kenny meanwhile, as he gets a clean bill of health regarding an old injury, and now he's cleared to play football again. And he gets a call right then and there from the Giants wanting to draft him. And then Shelly, meanwhile, digging up a Triceratops skeleton. And as Peter and Miles are notified that Sid is also missing, we see Sid, meanwhile, on the open road with the top down driving with Shelly. So the two Spider-Men know that something's gotta be up. Meanwhile, on that date night, Peter finally puts the kids down to bed after a long night of having some fun. And Miles, meanwhile, is winning on his first date with Kamala after he scores that first kiss. But then we see the two Spider-Man web slinging through the city to go and find some answers about their missing friends. And they decide that the best place to find some answers might be heading back down to the sewers, since that's where they at last lost track of Sid. So maybe they can pick up on his trail from down there, so they head down into the sewers. But this time they enlist the help of Shift and the Vermin to help them find some clues and navigate through the sewer system. Meanwhile, Peter, at the end of that date night, lays up with wifey watching a little bit of late night TV, and he and Gwen are about to get intimate when all of a sudden, Peter catches a glimpse of one of those vermin. And when he turns back, he doesn't see anything. That was weird. But Miles, meanwhile, is still on his date with Kamala, and now both of them have suited up and are having the time of their lives swinging and running through the city. Miles is finally happy, but he too catches a glimpse of one of those vermin. And when he looks again, nothing. And as we transition back to then, the vermin show the Spider-Man a false wall. One of many, apparently. So both Spider-Men initially think that this could be a Mysterio trick, so they smash down this false wall. But when they get inside and see the tech in there, they agree that this might be a bit much for Mysterio. But they send Shift and the Vermin on since they can take it from here. But then we see that the Spider-Men are being watched as one of the onlookers reacts. They're back, he says. They could destroy everything. Do something. So his partner initiates an attack on the Spider-Man. As we see out of nowhere, the two of them grab their heads in pain before they fall to the ground unconscious. Before the mysterious villain says that they've been incapacitated and now susceptible. As we see now that the two Spider-Men have been trapped this whole time inside of the arcadium, inside of their own personal fantasies by Arcade and Mentalo. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the issue. Man, so what did you guys think about that issue? Did y'all like the reveal that they had been inside of this fantasy the whole time? That's crazy. And did y'all pick up on all of those meanwhiles? Every time there was a meanwhile, it was an Arcadia scene. It was kind of interesting how they used that one word for these first 3 issues so far in this series. Pretty cool. But I know a lot of you guys had guessed that Arcade was involved, so y'all did an awesome job right there. But I don't think I heard anybody mention Mentalo. Apparently these two guys have been working together on this new Arcadium project though, so I wonder how that's gonna tie into that whole Jackal and that charred body thing. What do you guys think? And how you guys liking this Peter and Miles' new series so far? And did you guys do a few double takes like I did when y'all saw that cover with Miles and Kamala holding hands? I was like, what in the hell is going on here? But apparently it was all a fantasy, which kind of brings up the topic of Miles seemingly crushing real hard on Miss Marvel. What you guys thinking about that? Y'all know I want to hear all them theories. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this video and this channel, and you would like to support the channel, then you could do so by stopping by the Comics Icon store and picking you up some of this merchandise, including the background music heard right here in this video available for download, or by joining the Iconic Fan Club channel membership, and it'll be a link in the description to join. But with your membership, your voice will be heard during our interactive live streams with yours truly, where we could talk about everything that's been going down in these issues, as well as ones that you'd like for me to go over in the future and other comic book news. Plus you guys will get loyalty badges, member shoutouts, and up to 20% off of Comics Icon's merchandise from the Comics Icon store. And now we've got new tiers to the memberships as well, starting at just 99 cents. Now, how's that for an easy way to help out and support your favorite channel? Or you guys can donate to the channel with a super thanks. And if you're not able to do any of those, then you can still be a tremendous help to the future of this channel by dropping a like, share, and subscribing to Comics Icons for more icons in the comic book world. But ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. I'm out. Peace.